Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions. Thank you for our time together. Please don't forget we got two big events tomorrow night. At North Campus, we've got Wow God, and at East Campus, we've got Revival Nights with Joe and Becky. Both of these are going to be amazing. We'll look forward to seeing you there. But right now, I'd like us to look today at the business model of Christianity, the business model of the church. In Matthew chapter 21, verse 12, and Jesus entered the temple and drove out all who sold and bought in the temple. And he overturned the tables and the money changers and the seats of those who sold pigeons. He said to them, "It is written, my house shall be called a house of prayer, but you make it a den of robbers." Now, the chief priests got really upset with him. Verse 23, when he entered the temple the next day, the chief priests and the elders of the people came up to him as he was teaching and said, "By what authority are you doing these things, and who gave you this authority?" Now, they were very upset because Jesus messed up their business model. I look across the church world today, and I'm very concerned by what I see. Years ago, John Avanzini told me, he said, "Dave, American churches, it's not church anymore, it's Christian businesses." And for years, I didn't understand what that meant, until I begin to see the same thing entering into the churches here. You see, church has a different business model. Number one, it's not run for profit, it's run for souls, okay? Our purpose is the Great Commission. But even maybe more importantly is the source of provision. God provides for the work of the ministry two ways. He provides for the work of the leadership by the tithe. We return the tithe to God, and the tithe belongs to God, and then God takes what belongs to Him and uses it to support the ministry to take care of us. And then when it comes to doing the work of God, He gives us seed to sow, and the members sow the seed, and then the work of God is done. So everything about provision of the local church is about the tithe that belongs to God that He uses to support the ministry, and the seed that God gives people to sow, that then they're faithful and sow, and that does the work of the ministry. But in the church world today, it's a business model. We sell tickets to events rather than accept an offering. Because preachers have learned that you can make more money with a business model than they can with a God model. Now please forgive me, I know that's pretty blunt talk, but Protestant Christianity developed in part because of indulgences. If you go back and you read Luther's treatises and things, you'll see that one of his big challenges was the indulgences of the Catholic Church, and they charged for everything. But I look at modern Protestant Christianity today, and they charge for everything. 700 to 1,000 pesos to be water baptized. You pay this much for this seminar. You pay this much for this seminar. I can remember preaching in a church, and they were advertising the next week there would be a special evangelist there to do revival meetings. And if you wanted to come, it cost this much money to buy a ticket to hear this evangelist teach you about your soul being revived. Now, can't you just see Jesus charging for the gospel? Can't you just see Paul holding a revival meeting and charging? Can't you just see Nehemiah or Ezra charging for a revival meeting? Now, brothers and sisters, straight talk. The only reason preachers and churches get away with this today is because Christians tolerate it. You're taught not to give. You're taught just to pay for the services that you want. Now, please, let's get back to a biblical model. Let's stop the business, the marketplace in God's house, and get back to we return to God His tithe and we sow the seed that He gave us to sow, and that's how the work of God is funded.